What's up, everybody? Hit that bell notification, subscribe, share this video with your friends if you think they might enjoy it. But today's video is about ESTJs. Move over, ENTPs. ESTJs fight too. And when I say fight, I mean debate, argue. I'm not talking about like hitting with your fist or anything like that. I'm just talking about they can be argumentative. They almost have to train themselves not to fight and debate. I think they have a built-in mechanism that is there and ready and primed and prepared to debate something out, fight something out, argue their point. Sometimes they can stir things up just because they may get a kick out of it, or they may exercise their ability to win a fight, because I think that they can when they decide that that's what they want to do. Because secretly, they can love to fight and debate people, especially when they find something that they feel very strongly about, but they don't have to feel strongly about certain things in order to find an argument in it. So if you are a spectator, it could be quite interesting and entertaining. When they do train themselves not to argue, because one of them said, I heard an ESTJ say, that they train themselves not to fight and argue with people. It changes something about their personality that is hard to describe when they go into that mode, because they're almost tiptoeing, walking on eggshells a bit, skirting around. So it can soften their personalities in a way that seems a little unnatural, to be honest. But you can appreciate the fact that they're trying hard to not do something that could be upsetting or frustrating to other people. So I got mad respect for that. But it still takes for some ESTJs, not all, because some ESTJs don't argue, they just lead, they take charge, that's not their thing. But there is that group of ESTJs that they do like to argue, but it does something to their personality in that case, because you can tell that they're being really careful, or at least me as an ENFJ, I can sense that. So I think in some cases it's necessary for them to figure out, in a lot of cases it's necessary to figure out, how do I get along with people? How do I not tap into that need or that desire or that energy that wants to fight or argue? I think they also make a lot more friends by training themselves to use more tact. Some of them will develop a kid-like style of talking at times to keep from coming across so abrupt and harsh, because it is a strong-minded, strong-willed personality type. It has to be in some ways, because they're often in the position of leading. So some of them will soften their approach with people by using sarcasm. Sometimes they're serious and sometimes they're simply joking with their sarcasm. So it's not always hey, I'm giving you an uppercut. It's, I'm still getting that need to sort of spar, and I'm getting it out by using joking, sarcasm, and amusing statements. So like they may say, okay, you've already spoken once, so you're not allowed to speak again. They're probably totally kidding, especially when they're among their friends, because of course they can handle all of your opinions, even if they disagree. Some of them will argue to the point of getting their own feelings hurt, but for them, for that type of ESTJ, it's worth the argument. They're willing to take that risk because they can love debating, similarly to an ENTP. They are super knowledgeable about things. And in fact, wouldn't that be great to have an ENTJ and an ESTJ together? Man, I would pay some money to hear that debate, because I wonder how they would win. Or, put in the comments, who do you think would be the better debater, the ENTP or the ESTJ? Who do you think would win that argument? I'm so curious. So I might even do a poll on that before I even release this video, but we'll see. They can be super knowledgeable about things. That's one of the cool things about ESTJ. So you can learn a lot of surprising things from them, like about germs or facts about all kinds of things. They are very factual and they soak up knowledge and things that they hear, and they want a deeper understanding. Like they're very curious about a variety of topics. So they have an assertiveness even when they're not fighting, or they will tell you this photo is the blue that you should buy. So in other words, when they speak with assertiveness, they can tell you what you want and make you believe it. So they could be good sellers because they're so confident in themselves and what it is that they're selling or what they're saying. They actually believe it. So they may say, hey, this coffee mug is the it thing, and you're going to buy one. And before you know it, you're buying one. So they have a way of getting you to do what they want you to do because they're not self-conscious in the way that some other types are about speaking their truth. They just say it. So they can be a little quirky, a little bit when they're, trying to refrain from attack. But that's okay. There's a charm in there that is extremely likable, that grows on you and that you can really, really appreciate. So they can definitely learn a lot and soak things up. They can definitely be really good business people. Even when they're not aware, it could be such a natural gift. If they find something that they enjoy doing and they want to share it with others, voila, they turn it into a business. They figure out how to simplify things, how to be fair. They're going to be fair. They may even take some losses because they're being fair, right? They can be very free-hearted, very generous in that way, but they know how to run a business. Now, they may not like you telling them how to run their business. I heard an ESTJ once say that he was selling a product that another person was selling, and she told him and a bunch of other people, you really need to start selling your product for a lot more money because you guys are causing me to lose money, and I'm not selling as many items because you guys are selling your stuff so cheap. And he got into a heated debate with this lady because he said, you cannot blame why you're not successful on what other people are choosing to do with their other businesses. So you shouldn't tell other people not to make their products cheaper because you can't sell yours. So they can challenge themselves to dig deeper and go higher. They can enjoy talking a lot. They usually are talkers, but they enjoy sharing facts. They can be very good at multitasking and getting things done in a way that really works. They can be great teachers of new skills. They can take their determination to get along with people and turn it into a quite charming persona that draws people in. And because they're creating a new lane, it adds some uniqueness to the ESTJ personality. So they may use sarcasm to make a point. So in other words, they may say the opposite of what they mean. For example, they might say, do not threaten me with a good time. Or they might say, gosh, that's an ugly baby, meaning that baby is so pretty. So you have to kind of learn their style and their rhythm, and then they can seem less threatening and actually a lot of fun and very helpful and very kind. They can defend the defenseless, and they can also defend themselves in situations that others may deem frightening. I heard one guy tell a story about how he was about to be mugged. The guy approached him with a weapon, like he was like, give me your money or whatever. And he told the guy, bring it. And it startled the guy so hard that the guy took off running. And the ESTJ was also startled and shocked by their own response. But, they're not going to they're going to stand up for themselves. They can get bored pretty quickly because they have large minds. Their hands need to be doing something. Their minds need to be activated. So they use that boredom to figure out a whole lot of things, like trendy things or interesting things or better ways to do something. I could really call them tinkerers. They can be quite fidgety. They need to be doing something. That's just what I've noticed about them. They're always that's the best way I can describe it. And it doesn't have to be status quo type things or like something fancy at all to help them to make or invent something. It could be a piece of paper that they turn into an object. It could be very, very simple because they are incredibly curious. They are confident. They can just go for stuff. They just go for it. And they can also be very intrigued by words. They can really like using words, putting them together, playing with them. They have the patience and tenacity to solve problems and figure things out and not just leave things hanging. Now, that doesn't mean that they can't be impatient. I think I would put them in a category as a naturally impatient person. And not to make this about myself, but I think as an ENFJ, I'm also extremely impatient at times. And so I can relate to that. But then there are ENFJs that say that they are very patient and very easygoing. And so the same would apply for an ESTJ. Let's say, especially if they're a middle child, like 2 on one side, 2 on the other, they're probably going to have incredible patience. Something that may seem complicated to one person is simply a toy to an ESTJ, and they're willing to figure it out to make something work or to make it better. So they're tinkerers. And I heard an ESTJ say, this is interesting to me. They said, nothing hurts me. And they said this in light of kind of sparring with another individual. And then the other individual starts to cower and back down and apologize like, I'm sorry, or, I didn't mean to be hurtful. His response was, nothing hurts me. I do the hurting. In other words, I have to be careful not to hurt people's feelings, is what he explained. And sometimes I can let the power out a little too much and I have to pull it back. I have to be careful with my own strength. But for me, I am unhurtable. And I think by that he means, hey, you want to fight, I can go all in. But I'm objective, I'm a thinker, and I'm not going to get my feelings hurt very easily. And that's just a fact. I like to keep the power under control until I have to let it loose. I hold on to it until someone pushes too far. So I hope this helped and gave you an insight into the world of an ESTJ. Definitely check out my book, Flip the Script on Love. It's on Amazon by Tamara Hunter Zyon. And I think it will help you to fall in love, stay in love, and understand yourself a lot deeper. All right, you guys, I'll see you on the next video. If you want more videos on the ESTJ, be sure to like this video. Bye.